Hello, America. This is Dave the Bald Guy putting the bald guy on baldguylimo.com. Yeah, I know I need to shave. I've just been kind of lazy lately. So I want to talk to you a little today about this thing. This is a ham radio or amateur radio, whichever you wish to call it. I recently purchased one of these. I decided it's time to get my ham radio license. So I'm starting with the technician license, as it's called, and then from there you take the general license, which gives you access to more frequencies, and then there's even one above that, which gives you access to the full amateur spectrum. With that said, I wanted to learn a little bit about this and actually, listen to people. So I picked up one of these on Craigslist. This cost me about $100. It's rated very highly. I don't have my glasses on me. I left them across the room. Alinco DJ500, so I went ahead and picked it up. Secondhand, it works like a charm. This antenna is actually an aftermarket antenna. It cost me $25. Oh my God, $25. But there's, I've been told it's actually you can't get any higher for something like this. So I decided to get involved in this because in a SHTF situation, communications is going to be at a premium. You want to be able to know what's going on around you. So I decided the best way to learn is as inexpensively as possible, and then you sort of upgrade as you feel comfortable going along. So let's talk a little bit about communications and ham radio and all this and all that. So first of all, these work on radio waves. Very similar technology, actually the exact same technology as your car radio and all this and all that, but there's a specific band area, for the lack of a better description, that the FCC has set aside just for people like you and me to be able to communicate on. In fact, it's actually protected by treaty. All the countries in the world have actually agreed that this is the band that people will talk to. So you can actually talk to people across the planet on one of these. I actually, when I was driving home after I bought this, I was actually listening to a conversation. I had it on, it was scanning. I listened to a conversation from one guy was in Alabama, and the other person he was talking to was in the UK. And that was pretty neat. So the small ones like this, you basically have about 2 or 3 miles if you're going to talk from one to another. That's only it. After that, you're going to be bouncing off what's called a repeater. And this thing's already set to all the repeaters here in the Portland area. But what a repeater is it's a radio communication device. The signals just bounce off of it. It's got a big old antennae, and the signals just bounce off of it so that it goes farther and such. So that's what these are for. I get a great signal when I'm not home. Because I live kind of out in the boonies, and these things are line of sight. So where I'm at, the signal's kind of blocked. I get a stray signal here and there, but as soon as I'm about 4 minutes down the hill, I start picking up signals, which is kind of neat, because then you can listen to other people's conversations, which is, what these are for. But we want to talk a little bit about this and why you need to plan for getting something better. Okay, so now that I've said that, let's talk about this and why you need to get something better. So, like I've said, this is good line of sight as long as you have a repeater. In an SHTF situation, are those repeaters going to be running? Is that guaranteed? Okay, so most repeaters will have a backup generator. How long is that generator going to last? Think about that for a second. You can be out in the middle of the woods, this sounds great, and then all of a sudden you get that EMP and nothing's working. Weird, huh? So what do you do as my cat meows? So you need to upgrade to something a little bit bigger once you get comfortable with this. And once you can afford it, of course. I mean, don't skip the rent money on it. Pay the rent money on a radio. That's insane. But you can upgrade to something bigger in the future once you get your general license. EMPs. EMPs are always difficult to talk about because everybody pictures EMPs like something out of a movie. It's nothing like a movie. So I've been doing research over the last few years. I've talked to various engineers and this and that about EMPs, and EMPs are nothing like in a movie, even in a thermonuclear blast. In order for the EMP to be like it is in the movie, in other words, all electronics are fried everywhere, what ends up happening is you'd have to have a nuclear device like go off on you maybe a couple miles from where you are. But the fact is most people think that an EMP, if a nuclear EMP happens, in order to affect the entire country, it would have to be somewhere over Kansas. And an EMP like that is not going to fry every piece of electronic equipment in America. It's not going to happen. You don't believe me? Do your own research. Throw it in your Google machine. All right. So what's going to happen is most of the vehicles and all the electronics that are running at the time of the EMP, most of those will probably be fried. If they're not running, they're probably going to be okay. Of course, it varies on the strength of the EMP. I'm still going to have a Faraday cage that I'm going to put this and other electronics into, you know, just in case. But it's not like it is in the movies. All right? There are actual videos on YouTube. Dude, you should look these up. People have, preppers have made to-go boxes of just ham radio. And the antenna, of course, screws on. And so the antenna is separate. They open up the box. They put it in there. It's pretty cool looking because it works out quite well. It works out quite well for if you're literally bugging out from where you're at. It's easy to just grab and go. So that's how you can get a portable one of these that actually has more range and still be able to get going on it. Let's address the other elephant in the room, which is the preppers who hate the government and all this and all that. And they say, oh, why should I get a license? Because when SHTF happens, no license is going to matter. Look, you need to learn how to use one of these. Okay? You need to learn how one of these can be used to help you and your family. This is not a toy. This is not made by Fisher-Price. You need to learn how to set it. You need to learn how to put up an antenna. And all this is covered in your classes. All this is covered in your lessons. You can even build your own antenna so you don't even have to buy one. So look, you got to know how to use the equipment. When you buy a gun, do you just go out and start shooting things? The smart thing to do is to get instruction from somebody who knows what they're doing. Think of this as, it's like on the gun spectrum, this is a airsoft pistol. That's what this is. So you learn it and you move on up to the next level. You don't just go straight to the AK-47. You need to learn how to use it. You need to learn how to talk over it so that people can understand you. Just take the lessons and get the license. It's only $15. Okay? So this is a very valuable item to have in your prepper kit. Now, let's also talk about the fun you can have with this. Because if you've got the appropriate antenna, like it's a 2 meter long directional antenna, you got to point it up to the sky. You can actually communicate with the International Space Station on this very thing. And that's something I want to do just because it's kind of cool. And I want the kids to be able to do it too. And my wife's really a big space nut. She really digs that. So, that's pretty much it on my ham radio. Yeah, I'm not getting a signal because it's 4 o'clock in the morning and nobody's talking. And I live up on a hill, so it's hard to get. Seriously, 3 minutes down the road and I'm getting signals like crazy. You know, I heard 2 people complaining about their job over it the other day. And it's just take that and throw it out the window. It's a lot of fun. But I'll tell you, the equipment gets really expensive. I mean, no joke. I was in the ham radio outlet store in Tigard, Oregon the other day, and I'm looking at the equipment and I'm like, you know, if you buy whatever it is that they quote-unquote say you need, it costs more than any car I've ever bought. Insane. Insane. And that's pretty much it. Hey, if you want to follow me on TikTok, I got myself a TikTok account. It's Bald Guy TikToks. @Bald Guy TikToks. I'll put it down on the screen. Other than that, I hope you're well, and do some research on ham radio and what actually would work well for you, because not everybody's situation is the same. Everybody should learn how to use one of these in case they absolutely need to. And the cool thing about it is, you know, I have it, I can't broadcast over it until I get my license, but I can at least listen to it. And I can at least learn how to program the thing, which I have slowly been doing. I'm not as technical minded as I thought I was. But other than that, you guys have a great day. I will talk to you later.